do not have an early game, no international game this week. So normal kickoff time between the Jets and the Bengals. This is currently 6.5 in favor of Cincinnati at home. 44.5 is our total. We know Joe Flacco kind of balled out last week. Maybe easier to do than most people think when you do have that receiver duo of Chase and Higgins out there, and the Jets trying to figure out who they're going to play at quarterback this week.
It's a very, very interesting game because are we overreacting? We talk about overreactions a lot early in the season. Once you get to the middle of the NFL season, you don't hear as much conversation about this. But I mean, we just watched Joe Flacco play as good as a game as he's played in years. And like you said, and kind of what we thought coming in, how good does he have to be when you've got T. Higgins, when you've got Jamar Chase? You can just sort of air the ball out to those guys. And I don't know. Maybe everyone else listened to Mike Tomlin, who apparently has nightmares about Joe Flacco. Apparently Joe Flacco is what just keeps Mike Tomlin up at night and just is the scariest thing in the world for him. But am I ready really to trust this Bengals team? Am I ready, to lay 6.5 points in a market where, I mean, I don't know about you, Matt. Sharps all week have been betting the Jets here, taking the 7.5 every time they have a chance. It's sitting at 6.5 right now. I'm just not ready to trust this Bengals team. The defense is bad. We know it's really bad. Now, the Jets offense also stinks. Whether it be Tyrod Taylor, whether it be Justin Fields, it probably doesn't really make that big of a difference here. So all that to be said, I see a lot of people trying to use the Bengals in Survivor. Maybe that's a good idea. I'm just not there yet. I'm not ready to trust Cincinnati.
Yeah, it's the injury report. I kind of wanted to get there with the Jets, but 2 DNPs for Sauce Gardner. Now we're recording this, guys, before the final injury report comes out. So be sure and take a look at the final injury reports when they hit. But, 2 DNPs in a row for Sauce Gardner, 2 DNPs in a row for Cam Jones, 2 DNPs in a row for Garrett Wilson. Mason Taylor, who we like all of a sudden DNP'd on Thursday with a quad injury. Like, it's just a brutal injury report here for this Jets team. And then on the fact that they're having to wait to let us know whether they're going to start Tyrod Taylor or not, because he is also injured with something going on with his knee, was just too much for me. So can't get there with the Jets, who still a bad team, and it's a bad team that's all beat up too. So just not for me here in this one. Depending on where this spread goes, if it gets on the other side of 7 again, maybe I'll take a piece of the Jets. If this thing happens to fall because any of those guys get ruled in, if it gets under 6, it might be a look for Cincinnati for me. So all this dependent on where this thing finally ends up for us when all the injury news is settled.